live stream just to show you how to use the Mangaka add-on. So yeah, some things may go wrong, but I will cut them off afterwards. So everything is right. I hope there is audio. I'm going to check if there is audio. Yes, there is. So okay, let's start. So I have my scene already set up. It's a small corridor for my next manga. You see there is a, well, not much, but this corridor is completely modeled. So I have my camera, I have my scene setup, my frames size right here in the format. So before you start using the Mangaka add-on here in the rendering panel, you may want to change some of the settings right here. We're not, when we render for Mangaka, we are not aiming for realism, but for the best lighting we can get to the add-on for the add-on to draw. So what you may want to check before rendering are first the lighting. Try to have your scene mildly lighted, even if it is a dark scene. You may want to have all the light you can get, so because you can change the tone of the brightness afterwards in the Mangaka add-on. So try to have a scene light like this, evenly lighted. It's going to make your time with Mangaka add-on easier. So check the normals here. Try to see if there are normals that are way too strong, because you know Mangaka is really sensible. So if you see, well, let me show you in the shading how we don't want a normal to look like. So let's grab the wall. This is the wall, yes. Or let's grab something with normals. No, this doesn't have normals. Sorry. Let's grab the floor. Yes, the floor has normals. Okay. So what you don't want to see in your scene is probably something like this. This is way too strong. Let's put the here. Here. Yes. It was in simplify mode. Like this. Something like this is not good for the Mangaka add-on. You will have to make it go down like this, or maybe a little bit more. Like this. Yes. This is almost what you want to look like. Look for the rendering, sorry. So once you have your normal setup, now we can render, I guess. Yes, you don't need perfect crisp render, so you can get away with 16 samples and the denoise, because yes, we are not aiming for realism. We are not aiming for a crispy realistic image. It's just something to work with the Mangaka add-on. So let's hit render. Let's see how much it takes. And I will, while it renders, I have to tell you something that is important. You always need a compositor screen or area somewhere in your working screen, on your working tab. This is because Blender won't update the compositor unless it is open. So open the compositor and just hide it down here. Yes, because well, Mangaka, you know, works with the compositor, with compositor nodes, and you need it open for Blender to update. If you don't have it open, Blender won't update the compositor and you will see nothing happening here. So now with Mangaka, you are in the rendering tab in the image editor, this is where the Mangaka add-on lives in, so to speak. You will see some tabs in the end panel. You can make it appear with this little arrow or with the N button. And if you go down to the last one, you can see the Mangaka add-on right here. So you won't see any settings unless you press the draw button. You have a button to access to my Patreon where you can support me if you want. I will be posting stuff there. I will be posting how I'm doing with my manga, how I'm doing with my stuff. And yeah, it's a place where we can interact, we can discuss stuff, and yes, it's a place where you can support me, and pretty good stuff is coming up. So I'm working on a manga. This is a scene for that manga, so you can see you may see this when I publish the first chapter. So yeah, let's start working with Mangaka. The first thing you have to do is obviously push the draw button, and once you do, you will have to wait a second while it compiles, and there you go. Well, it looks awful, yes, but that's why all of these settings exist for. So let's go one by one. The first problem we have is obviously the brightness of this scene. The second problem is probably the betas are way too strong. I will explain you what betas are, but let's unclick them, uncheck them, and let's see if this solves a little bit of a problem. Yes, okay. So the first setting is the brightness setting. This one controls, well, everything is pretty much self-explanatory, but I will explain what they do anyways. This one controls brightness, so if you go one up, it's going to make it brighter. So let's go, I don't know, 2. Wait for it to compile, and there you go. Now our scene is brighter, there is less tones applied to it, the lines are a little bit thinner. Well, look at this problem. We're going to fix that later, but this is exactly what I told you, to not make the normals too strong. Yes. Now, cooling. What is cooling? Let me see if I don't know what it's doing, why it is doing this, but wait a second. Well, it's a live stream, everything can go wrong, so yes, well, it was activated, I don't know why, but this is the cooling setting. Cooling means to cut something from a certain point, and this is a distance cooling. So this means that if you want something far away not to be drawn, you can use this little tab to cut it out. Sorry. So the closer the black one is to the white one, the closer the cutting is going to happen. As you can see, it's really strong, like it's really sharp, the cut, but you can make it softer with a B-spline, the B-spline interpolation, and by lowering by making it lighter, this second tab. This way you will get a little bit softer cutout. Like like you see here, the closer ones are really dark and thick, and the further away lines are much more thinner and almost invisible. So yeah, a lot of mangaka use this effect to draw attention to certain points in the drawing. You can also add a second tab, make it darker. I call these things tabs, but I don't know if they are called tabs, so sorry if they are the wrong name for these things, but well, as you can see, you can add a second tab and start cutting from the front to the back. Let's see if I can make it look better. Well, yeah, like this. Well, with this effect, you can draw all the attention to this zone where maybe the characters are, or where maybe something is happening, so the audience or the reader cannot get distracted by more of the background. Well, let's turn it off. Let's see if it turns off. Yes, okay. Now the whole background is in, so let's go to the lines now. The lines, you can turn them on and off. Let's turn off the tones also. You can turn the tones and the lines off if you don't want one or the other. Let's work with lines for now. Let's hide the tone setting. And there are a lot of things to do with the lines. First, we have the floor that looks not good. So the first one is the normal sensitivity. This is the thing I was talking to you about. This add-on is really sensitive to normal, so you may lower it down, but it's still really noisy to my liking. So there are around two things we can do to fix this. The first one is the noise remove option. This one may cut some of the noise, but also will cut some of the lines, so be careful while using it. So let's see if it works properly. Sometimes it's not so useful also. It depends on the amount of noise and how you manage it. So yeah, seems like I want you to see how it works, but it's not working that well. It really depends on the scene. So yeah, it won't be really useful this time. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does nothing. I really don't know exactly why, but it's something to check for the next update. So the other thing we can do is, once we see that the floor is not working as we want, we can go to the shading. We can go to the normal render pass, and we can start tweaking it until we remove all this noise. So let's put a color ramp. I already did it, but let's put a color ramp here and let's start trimming away pieces of the normal. So why don't I cut this and lower also the, I don't know, maybe we can wait, sensor 1, we can lower the white value, so if less of a, yes, okay, let's see, let's render again. This may look like a lot of work, but this is something you have to do just once in your scene, and then you can render as many times as you want, so it's not as much work as it looks like. Once you have it fixed, it will always be fixed, so what happens? Okay, much better. So I still not liking it that much, but it is usable, I guess. Well, with a lot of tweaking, you can get usable stuff. Let's see if I can get it better. Wait a second. Let's make it stronger, but let's make it like this. Wait. 5, 0, 8. Let's trim. Okay, let's see if this works. in the final version of this video I will cut all of these problems, or well, I will cut the annoying parts only, so if you want to come back and check it out, this won't be in the final video. We'll trim it out and make chapters also, but I wanted to have a little bit of a live stream with you. So yeah, much better. So what else we can do? Yes, line thickness in light. This is not so complicated to understand, but well, yes, pretty much self-explanatory also. What line thickness in light does is, you see how these lines are thick here and really thin here where the light is. So yeah, that's basically what it does. Where the light is, you will see thin lines, and where the shadow is, you will see thick lines. That's something a lot of mangakas like to do with the lines. Places in light tend to be thinner or almost non-existent, and places in darkness tend to be well, thicker. So with this tab right here, you can control it, how much of the light is going to capture, or how thinner it's going to be in the light. You can make it a lot thinner by making this all the way to black. As you see, it's almost non-existent even in shadows, so I wouldn't recommend this. You can see the places in light are really thin, almost non-existent, and the places in the shadows are thick. So yeah, you pretty much have all the control in here. And if you want to turn it off, so to speak, go to the B in HSV, hue saturation value, go to value, and put a 2 there, and this will turn it off. So next, the beta. Beta is a term used by mangakas to call black values. So as you can see, a lot of black values have been added. So we can control this with these two tabs. The closer the white one gets to the black one, the less black values are going to be. So let's see. Another thing, as you can see, it's, well, I don't know how to explain it, but it's not that detailed. There are mostly masses of black, but if you crank up the detail socket up to 1, let's do for the sake of this video, you can see it's capturing a lot of detail now. You will see the veins of the wood, the granularity of the wall. Let's add more beta so you can see it. Yes, all of the small details, the texture of the wall, a lot of the granularity of the floor also is capturing. So yeah, this is the main purpose of detail. Sorry, I'm so bad at explaining stuff, but I'm trying to do my best here. But everything is pretty much self-explanatory. Detail 0, almost no detail, masses of black. Detail 1, you can see stuff like the granularity of the wood and the walls and the textures. So this is it. This is the beta. Wait a second, I have to see something. Okay. So let nature. We are going to come back to nature later, but I want to see the tone settings. The tone settings apply. Let's put it like this. Yes. Tone settings apply tones like values of gray depending on the lighting of your scene. So light parts are going to be white, less light are going to be gray, and less light are going to be darker gray. So I want to see you exactly where let's do this, the darker one. I go really dark. Okay. Yeah. As you can see, these four tabs control the tones. So blue is the first tone, the light one. Green is the second, the mid one, and red is the last one, the dark one. Do not change the colors because you will break the add-on. Well, I'm going to show you. Like, if you put something else, this will happen. Like it get messed up. So do not change it. Sorry. One like this. Okay. Yeah. Try not to change the color so the add-on can work properly. And the alpha is the white. It's just pure white. So let's add more light gray. Yes. You can see you can control the look of your scene by moving the tabs. I have more of this darker value. Oh, there you go. In conjunction with the beta, it can be a really powerful effect to apply to your manga backgrounds. But the cool things about this is not the value itself, the RGB value itself, but the fact that it can apply screen tones instantly. You know, sorry, screen tones are these small dots that when you look from afar resembles value, and this is something that every single manga in the planet uses. So you can use the RGB to kind of have a preview of the scene, but you may want to export it in a screen tone, with a screen tone, sorry. I add 3 pre-made screen tones for you. So you have the 40 lines and the 20 lines, 600 dpy. As you can see, the tones are getting bigger, but the main idea is that you use your own custom tones. You can get this by downloading them from the internet, or by creating them on Photoshop, Clip Studio Paint, and Medibank. So yeah, you can create your own tones and use them here. So these are the scene. Wait a second. I'm going to look for my tones that I made just for this video. Sorry, it's going to take a few seconds. Where did I get them? Oh, yes, here. Okay, as you can see, this is how you may want to do your tone. So make a tone and just cut a section of it, like a 14 by 14 pixel of it, or the size of 2 dots, like this. It is important that you uncheck relative path from the M panel and, well, import it in your scene, and you will see how it changes. Let's import this one, and there you go. With this you can add all your custom tones. Well, again, I have to search for them. Okay, 30. Well, I forgot to uncheck the relative paths, so as you can see here, the paths are messed up by Blender. I don't know why, but please make sure to uncheck relative paths. And now let's import it. 30%. And the last one, I want it to be working with 40 lines, yes. So 40 lines, 40% is right here. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't find it. So yes, with this you can import your own custom tones and have them being applied directly and automatically in your scene. So yeah, that's pretty much everything with the basics. Oh, nature, yes. Well, the nature section is one that you need to pay attention to. I don't have any nature asset here, but let's add one. Let's go to layout, wait. Normal. I go to EV for a second. And let's add some assets. Let's see. Plants, trees. In case you are wondering, I cannot share this with you because I buy them and I am not allowed to distribute these add-ons. These assets. So sorry. It's a license kind of thing. But you can get a lot of free assets if you need them from Sketchfab, from CG Trader, from TurboSquid. Some are free, some you have to pay for them, but you can get a lot of things for free. So surf the web and look for them, and you will find them. So yeah. But sorry, I cannot share this with you. Okay. Once we have nature in our scene, if we were to render this as is without the nature settings, you will see how then they look. Let's wait for it to render. Half an hour already. Okay, I will try to speed up. Well, as you can see, it looks absolutely dreadful. This is because nature assets are often complex, full of normals, full of detail, full of geometry, and Mangaka add-on gets really confused, let's say, to personify this add-on. But I find a solution, and it is to draw them with a different technique. But to do this, we need to do a lot of configuration. First, let's go to the light path. If you're working on Eevee, this is not necessary, but Cycles has a problem with transparent assets, like the leaf on this tree, and it is, let's see, missed. Okay, well, it's managing it well, but as you can see, it is kind of weird. There are details that are weird in this transparent texture. So what you need to do, if you see weird stuff happening in the alphas, is to increase the transparent light paths. So let's increase it to 12. Let it render. Okay, wait. I think that will do. Well, it doesn't look that bad, but there are specific assets that do look really bad when you turn on the mist path. So make sure that it looks okay, so to speak. You can also go to shading and configure a little bit of the shader to make it look proper. Oh yeah, the normals also need. Sorry, I'm really deviating from the Mangaka, but this is important. So this is bark, this is yes. Okay. So what we want to do, this is going to be a problem in the future. So we want to fix it by adding a principle. But you won't have to do this, but this is a specific thing on my asset. I had to remake all of the assets and then import them, but I forgot, to be honest with you. Yeah, the color here. This is going to be cut out, so don't worry. When you come back to this video, does this work? Volume settings. Okay. If we change to Eevee, I think Eevee does it better. Yeah, Eevee does this. I want this to be happening in cycle, so I don't know why it's not happening. Maybe I need a normal, I don't know. Displacement, no, but let's have a bump. Okay, but how do I make them? This is a problem with, to be honest, I have no idea what causes this. Okay, but we will probably have a better tree asset than me, so so let's not worry about this. And yeah, let's continue. Let's not worry too much about this. I'm going to move to Eevee for a second, just to show off. Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Okay, right now in Eevee it's not going to look that good, but I could show you that the problem is the same for Eevee and for cycle. So if we render this, it's going to be quicker now, I hope. Okay, yes, well, the problem is the same. You see, it's really dark, it's not looking good. So once you see this problem, you have your nature asset. What you have to do is go to in the view layers, to the nature layer. Wait a second. Yes, okay. I have to turn off some of the stuff that was turned off before. Humans, portals, no, this one no, the one out. Okay. What you may want to do is to create a nature collection, as I already did, because there are some plants inside this room there. But okay, sorry, that's a spoiler. This one? No, this one. Okay. Yes. Inside the nature, you add all of the nature assets you have. This way you have them isolated. And now go to filters here, turn on the holdout mask, and now on every other collection you're going to hold shift and press this small circle, and except for the nature one, so here and on every other collection you may have turned on. And as you can see, now we have our tree isolated, but the scene is still there. So here is the door, as you can see, and you cannot see the tree from behind the door. this is what hold out mask does. So now that we have our trees isolated, we can go to the rendering, to the Mangaka panel, turn on nature, and this will now, everything that is isolated in the nature view layer is now going to be drawn with a different technique. Okay, so it's still looking not good, but now we can, by moving this small tab, get something that is workable with. So let's get a little bit darker. Okay, yeah, that's much better. As you can see, now everything is drawn correctly. Everything looks fine. Let's go to cycles to make it look even better. Sorry, EV is not cycles. So now, yeah, it's going to take out a lot longer, but it's going to look a lot better also. So while this renders, I want to also I want to take this moment to thank all the people who bought the Mangaka add-on. I was able to get, I'm going to show you later, but I was able to get, thanks to you, drawing table, drawing monitor, a cheaper one, but drawing monitor nonetheless. So yeah, I wanted to thank you all. I'm going to upload a video thanking you all properly, but I wanted to take this moment of rendering to thank all the people who bought the Mangaka add-on, the previously manga converter, and because you helped me a lot, and I finally could get a drawing monitor. So now I draw 5 times faster, to be honest with you, really fast. So thank you all. I will make a live stream drawing on the monitor in a close future. So yeah, well, let's go back to this. Now here, let's crank it up a little bit. Okay, well, it's looking properly now, like a tree a mangaka will draw. Sorry. So this is pretty much everything except the vagueness settings. What it does is, well, the name is self-explanatory. It's make the tree drawing to be more vague, so to speak. So I don't know if it's visible here, but okay, there you go. Let's turn off the tone so you can see what's going on. As you can see now, every single leaf, every single detail is being drawn, but most of the time we don't want this. So if we turn on vagueness, what it does is to smooth a little bit the detail, so it will look more fuzzy. Not that much, but helps to make the illusion of a drawing. So yeah, this is pretty much it. It's been a long live stream, to be honest with you. I wasn't expecting to be this long. I wanted to be 20 minutes, but well, things happened. So well, I will trim most of the stuff in the YouTube editor, so it may end up with a 20 minutes video. So I will add chapters. I will make it a proper. I will try to turn this live stream into a proper tutorial. But yeah, thanks to the few people that were here, some around 3 users were here. But thank you all. Thank you for buying the manga converter. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Thank you for using it. Post on any social media you have and try to add the hashtag mangaka, so I can see it. I can see what you're doing. It's made me happy to see people using something I made, to see my add-on being useful for people. So yeah, if you're making a manga or something, add the hashtag mangaka. Maybe we'll see it. I'm most active on Twitter now, but we can create the hashtag on Pixiv also and see if people upload there. So yeah, I don't know what else to say, but thank you a lot for buying it, for getting it, even if you get it for free in the manga converter version. Thank you a lot for using it. Thank you a lot for getting, well, yeah, sorry. Again, you can support me in Patreon if you want to. If not, it's okay. Anyways, I was experimenting with Patreon to see if I could get something out of it. I'm making a manga right now, so yeah, we are finishing on a good note, I guess. I don't know what else to say. You can remove the converter with this button and it's gone. So, but also your settings are going to be gone, so don't use it so recklessly. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching the tutorial. Thank you for being here, and see you in the next time. I hope we can draw something on livestream. Maybe I will share with you the manga I'm making. So yeah, thank you and goodbye.